So what is real and what's not real? What matters and what doesn't matter? Well, knowing the answer to these questions is the difference between success and failure. So in today's video, I'm going to help you decipher what's real, what's not real, what matters, and what doesn't matter at all. Let's get started right now.
And now, the most trusted name in all of youth sports, here's Coach Mark.
Hey there, it's Coach Mark. Excited to be here with you today. I'm excited that you're here with me. As always, I want to bring you content that I think matters, things that you need to know as a parent or a player going through the baseball experience. Today's video is going to help you sort out the fact from the fiction. We're going to get into some details. Before we do, though, I want to remind you, it would be super helpful and very nice of you to subscribe to the channel if you're not, because that helps us. It would be great if you would comment, because I answer all the comments. It would be awesome if you hit that notification button, because then you'll know every single time we upload new content, you'll get notified. Okay? So please do that. It helps us. The YouTube algorithm watches for that. And the more engagement we have, the more people we can get these great messages out to. Sorry to digress, but that's really important to us. Okay, another thing that's really important is that you have an opportunity to get this free gift from us. Now, you're going to have to wait till the end of the video for my offer for a free gift. So I think you'll really appreciate what we're offering. Okay, so let's get into some details. First of all, we live in this world now that it's really, really hard to tell what's real and what's not real. Let me give you a real life example. I was watching a financial YouTube video for financial information, and I've been watching it for weeks. And then one day it just occurred to me, wait a second, is this real? Is this guy that I've been watching for weeks even real? So I looked down. You would have thought I might have done this early on, but I looked down through the description, and guess what it says? It's AI. It's not even a real person. For weeks, I was watching somebody that wasn't even real. It literally says this thing, I don't know what you would call it, it's not a person, but it looks like a person, was created for informational purposes only. Wow, we live in a crazy world. So in case you're wondering, in case you've heard any rumors out there that I'm not really real, that I'm somehow created by AI, actually, I've never heard that, and hopefully we never will. I can promise you I'm real. And a lot of times I'm putting pictures of real life things, my kids I've worked with, experiences I've had, things that I've done in these videos. It's not to brag or boast or anything. It's actually to make it real. I want you to know that when I share this information with you, I have lived it. For the last 20 years, I've been in this space helping young athletes in many, many different ways. I was also a Division I player, and I'm not saying that to brag, but I know what it's like, even though times have changed. But to be a Division I athlete, which is the goal of a lot of the people watching this, not the D2 or D3, there's anything wrong with that. It's great baseball at all levels after high school. But a lot of kids want to play Division I baseball, so you know they're looking for advice from people who know what they're talking about, which is kind of the long segue into what's real and what's not real. So I'm going to give you three things that I think you should be focused on, and I'm going to give you three things that I would strongly encourage you to stop focusing on if you are. There are things that can lead you way away from what's reality, and that will cost you. Because when you focus on things that don't matter, you're just wasting your time and your energy, and you're taking away from the things that do matter. So let's get into three things that really matter, that are real, and three things that don't matter, that are really fictitious. They're not real at all. Okay, so let's talk about three things right out of the gate that are absolutely not important, and you probably might need to change your perspective, or as they say, a paradigm shift from these three things. And I'm going to get a little help with this. And this is a good time to tell you that I'm going to start validating and justifying and backing up what I say with other people saying the same thing. So in this case, I'm going to use arguably the all-time most successful wrestler in college wrestling. I mean, if you go undefeated for your entire career, never lose a match in 4 years, and if you know anything about wrestling, you know I'm talking about Cael Sanderson, the head coach at Penn State, because I want you to hear what he has to say about winning and losing. And here's why. This is number one. So many people are letting winning and losing affect so much, how they prepare, how they handle the actual event. Like, this is a really big game. We got to win. They get themselves all psyched out. And then even worse, when the game's over and they don't win, they let that affect them dramatically. They're in a bad mood. They don't want to talk. They don't want to do anything. The world is coming to an end because of this loss. Well, I'm here to tell you that if that's you, we need to help you get out of that mode. So let's just jump in, and I want you to listen carefully to what Cael Sanderson has to say about winning and losing.
This is just a game, right? I mean, we love the game. It's one of my favorite games. There's a lot of great games, probably my favorite game, but it's just a game. Whether you win or lose, it's not really that big of a deal in the eternities. It's just who you are, what you stand for.
It's just a game. Wow. Now, this is a guy that never lost in college saying it's just a game. And I've watched so many of his interviews. He says the same thing all the time. He's always talking about the preparation, the desire to win. Sometimes he talks about hating to lose, which is okay. But the result of the winning or losing for him, it's like we can learn from both. And I've heard him say that sometimes we learn a lot more in a loss than we do in a win. Now, let me ask you an honest question. Is that how you're treating winning and losing? Is that what you're teaching your son about winning and losing? Because if it is, you're right on track, and I hope you are. But you do understand that most people who don't have anywhere near the success this guy has don't think about it like that. You watch them during the games, they're going crazy. They're yelling at umpires. They're yelling at coaches. Watch him during a match. He doesn't flinch, rarely, because he has a totally different perspective on winning and losing. And my appeal to you is to learn from people like that, because your son, when he learns that it's more about the process, the preparation, and then you go out and you learn from a win or a loss and life goes on. I've heard him say, hey, we won a national championship. We'll be in the wrestling room on Monday. I've also heard him say, hey, we lost. We'll be in the wrestling room on Monday. Okay, so I don't want to beat this up, but if you study what the winners of winners are like, most of them are like this. And if you study what the masses are like, they're not like that. Okay, so that's a really important point. Let's go on to number two. So number two is statistics. Okay. A lot of you watching this are really, really focused on statistics. How do I know? Because I have a lot of interaction with people and I hear them talking about stats all the time. In fact, when I get people that, are sort of selling me on their son, they're throwing out all kinds of stats. His batting average, his ERA, the number of times he strikes out, the stolen bases, the on-base percentage, on and on. I mean, I've had parents of really young kids throwing game-changer stats at me like crazy. Okay, not only do I not care about any of those stats, neither do the college coaches. And if you don't believe me, I want you to listen right now to a recent podcast I did with the hitting coach at the University of South Carolina, Monty Lee. I specifically asked him about statistics. How important are they? This is the information you need right now.
to keep us from recruiting kids as early as we were, which I think is great. But bottom line is, when it comes to the recruitment part of it, we're recruiting skills. Yeah. You know, we're not necessarily recruiting kids based on stats because we don't know their stats. Right. So, you know, quite honestly, I think that, you know, focus less on those things because quite honestly, they really don't matter.
Right there. There it is. I mean, you can't hear it any more clearly than that. That's a top guy in the SEC. And I'll repeat again what he said. We don't focus on stats. We don't recruit stats. What did he say? We recruit skills. How many people are talking to me about skills versus stats? Not very many, okay? So this is the reason I go out and do these podcasts is exactly for little clips like that. So people like you who have a thirst for the right information are getting the right information. And that way we can do this thing the right way. And your son will have the best opportunity to play at the next level versus the masses who are just shooting in the dark, doing all the wrong stuff and somehow thinking it's all going to work out. It's not. Okay. So I just love listening to guys like that. I'm glad you're here to hear what guys like that have to say. Forget about stats. Let's go to number 3. Let me give you a stat. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. No, this is a stat. In 20 years of being on the front lines with college coaches, talking to them, hundreds and thousands of hours about players, I have never, are you ready for this? Never been asked by a college coach, what is he ranked? So I am going to compel you to not get sucked up into the hype of player rankings. There are people chasing rankings like crazy, and I promise you it is a black hole. It never ends. I have people that I'm aware of spending enormous amounts of money. I'm not knocking PBR. I'm not knocking Perfect Game. They have opportunities to go, and then they rank kids. They rank them in the state. They rank them in the country. And it's like they've got people thinking that this is the ticket. I got news for you. I've helped a lot of kids play Division I baseball that weren't even ranked. They didn't do all that stuff. Now, I do say, hey, if you want to go do that and you get ranked high, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying like that should not be your focus. You need to be, as Coach Lee said, focus on becoming the best player you can become, the best teammate you can become, have the highest baseball IQ. I haven't seen any rankings for baseball IQ. You know, now that I say that, they'll probably come up with something like that. They'll have some test. Hey, this is the smartest baseball kid in the country. He's ranked number 1 as far as baseball IQ. I bet I could make some money with that idea. You hear my sarcasm, okay? These rankings, they are money-making machines. They get people thinking that you got to go, you got to get ranked, because here's where you sort of separate the fact from fiction. All the players, most of the players that are highly ranked are really good players, okay? I mean, that's common sense, okay? So people think, well, I have to be that if I'm going to be a really good player and play at the college level. And it's not true. The two are not related like that. You can be a really, really, really good player and not ranked at all. And top schools love you. Okay. So have I said this clearly enough? Let's not focus on rankings. Let's not even talk about rankings. I never talk about it because the college coaches don't talk about it. So there are 3 things that I just covered with you that a lot of people are focused on that I'm telling you as a consultant to young players and their parents, we don't want to focus on any of those. So that begs the question, what do we want to focus on? So let's switch gears and let's wrap this up in the second half of this video by talking about 3 really important things that we do want to focus on. So what's the first thing that we want to pay attention to? Well, I'm going to go back to my go-to, Coach Cale Sanderson, one of the all-time winningest wrestlers and coaches, talking about what he thinks is the most important thing.
I think the main characteristic that we look for in wrestlers is just finding kids that love wrestling.
right? That they love the sport, and they, being a good person and a strong student athlete just goes hand in hand, right? It's going to be hard to be a great wrestler if you're not a great person and a good student or a great student. But just loving it. If you love it, you're gonna go to practice with a smile on your face. You're gonna step on the mat with a smile on your face.
All right, there it is. Again, it can't get any more clear than that. He's talking about loving the grind. He's talking about a genuine love for the sport. Well, when you do a lot of things right, you can love it. When you do a lot of things wrong, you end up despising it, which is why so many kids quit at 13 years old. So he's, number one, talking about the love of the game. We got to keep that in this for these young kids. We got to focus on that. This has got to be fun. He didn't use the word fun, but I use the word fun. I want to see kids playing like they're in a backyard wiffle ball game. That's what it should look like. Doesn't look like that when you go to these youth games. It looks like, we're going to ship kids off to Siberia if they don't do well, and the parents are freaking out that their kid may be gone forever. That's what it looks like. Okay, the other thing he talks about is being a great person. We're going to focus on being a great person. He talks about gratitude in that short little clip. We're going to focus on gratitude. Now, we're still in number one here. I got two more main topics, but when we're talking about enjoying this process, these are the things that he's talking about. These are things that I'm talking about. And we can be watching our kids, and we can, if we're honest, we can say, does it look like they're having fun? And if the answer is yes, we're doing a lot of things right. If the answer is, I don't know, we're probably messing this thing up. Okay? So let's go on to number two. So probably not surprising to you, my number two is having a plan. The old saying, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. Well, if you start asking kids or parents in this journey at 13, 14, 15 years old, what is your plan? You're going to hear crickets. You're going to get some really, really strange looks like, what are you talking about? They have no idea. I mean, I'm talking to kids that don't even know their 60-yard dash time. One of the most important numbers you can have as a potential recruit is, how fast are you? I don't know. What's your velo? I don't know. What's your ball exit speed? I don't know. I mean, these are results that we do pay attention to because we want to have developmental plans based on baselines, but people don't even know that. So when I talk about what's your plan, let me get a little bit more specific. What is your plan to improve your baseball IQ? Like, there's an answer for that for some people. For most people, it's, I don't have one. Okay, but there are people that are doing things. I'll give you an example. When I was running the baseball programs that I was running, I did something called Baseball University, and we were focused on improving our baseball IQ. We got together and we watched videos and we talked about really cool baseball IQ plays, and it really helped a lot of kids improve their baseball IQ. That's a plan. If we wouldn't have done that, we'd have said, I don't know, we're just hoping kids know how to play the game at a high level. Okay, here's another question. What is your plan to be the best athlete that you can be? Again, there's an answer for that. There are people that could absolutely, some of my clients could tell you exactly what they're doing by the day, by the minute, by the hour of how they are becoming the best athlete they can be. But the vast majority of people are going to go, what do you mean? I don't have a plan to be the best athlete I can be. Okay? We're not going to be the best athlete we can be without a plan. Here's another one. Baseball skills. What are you doing? You heard Coach Lee mention we recruit skills. Tell me exactly what you're doing to improve your baseball skills. What are some of the skills? I'll throw a couple out. What are you doing to be the best bunter you could possibly be? If you're a left-handed pitcher, tell me what your routine is to have the best pickoff move in the country. If you're a base stealer, tell me your technique and the skills that you're honing to be a great base stealer, like how you get a lead, how you get a jump. If you're a center fielder, what are you doing to hone the skills of taking great angles, great routes, great jumps? If you're a second baseman, what do you do on a daily basis to improve your hand speed to turn two? You see what I'm saying? I could go on and on and on about the skills of the game that most people are completely neglecting. They have no plan to be a skillful players. So again, I don't want to beat this up, but not having a plan for all of that is a recipe for disaster. If your goal is to play after high school, you are not having a plan. You are doing what the masses do, and the masses are not going to play after high school. If you want to play after high school, do what the very few are doing, and then you will swing the odds in your favor. Let's talk about your plan to get recruited. What is your plan? Now, I'm talking about all these developmental things, but there is going to come a moment in time where let's hope that you are a polished player, a skillful player, a well-rounded player, a very good athlete. Baseball IQ is great. When you are that, the thing that follows that is getting recruited. What is your plan to get recruited? How are you going to get your name out there? How are you promoting yourself? Or who do you have promoting you? In other words, have you thought about how you're going to get recruited? Most people do not have a plan. I mean, I see them out on social media talking about, I'm going to send a lot of emails to college coaches. You and 10,000 other kids are doing that. I'm going to put a promotional video together. Okay. First of all, I see so many promotional videos that are not good. They're not showing college coaches what they want to see, and they don't know how to get it into the hands of the right people anyway. Okay. So again, not trying to be negative. I'm asking tough questions that most people have no answers for. I'll give you one more because I could go on and on about this. So you're 150 pounds and you might know it, but maybe you don't know it, that you need to be 180, or you needed to be 180. You know, when you were 14 years old, you were thin and you didn't put a plan together to put on 15 pounds of muscle in every year, which is possible if you what? Have a plan. So what's your plan, young, thin, not physical enough kid? What's your plan to become physical, to pack on the muscle? Don't tell me you're going to work hard. That's not a plan. That's a concept. Okay. I work with world-class sports nutritionists that have plans for our athletes of putting on muscle. Okay. So really, really important that you have a plan. Let's take the opposite. What's your plan? If you're a big, slow, unathletic kid, and I've coached them and I've sat down with them and I said, look, you can really hit, but being big, slow, and unathletic is not going to get you very far. Are you willing to make some sacrifices? Maybe not eat so many Twinkies to play Division I baseball. Are you willing to do that? And if the answer is yes, let's put a plan together. Let's start making those sacrifices. Let's start moving our body. Let's start doing the right exercises. We have a plan to go from big, slow, and unathletic to a stud. How about that plan? Okay, that's a lot of fun. So, and I'll give you one more, and you've heard me talk about my son. What if you're not fast enough? What is your plan to get fast enough? Don't tell me that you're running a little bit. You know, you're going out and doing some sprints every once in a while. That's not a plan. Okay, a plan is like what my son did. He said, he was a 7'5", 60 and needed to get to 6'7", and he did in less than a year because he had a plan, and then he went and executed the plan. So this is what I'm talking about when I say you gotta have an answer to these things. So, all right, let's wrap it up with number 3. Let's review number 1. We want to have fun. We want to focus on development. We want to be grateful for what we're doing. We got to play with our hair on fire, high energy, love the grind. Number 2, we got to have a plan. We got to be able to answer the tough questions. How am I going to do this with this plan? Okay, that leads us to the last one, to focus on who is helping you, who is in your court. What village have you been able to build of people that are honest, experienced, accurate, willing to give of their time? Who is in your life like that? I will tell you that just about every player that I've worked with had a group of people around them that we're committed to them, helping them. Obviously, I'm a consultant. I am the lead guy for all of my clients. They have reached out to me and said, steer the ship, guide us, lead us. You lead, we'll follow. That's the relationship I have with my clients. Now, I would love to talk to you about entering into a relationship like that if you're interested. But even if you're not, the question still is there. Who is in your court? Who is in your corner helping you? This is a gigantic thing to focus on because I have not seen too many people wing it on their own, all alone, and make it to where they wanted to go. I'm sure there are a few exceptions to that, but I say it takes a village. It really does take a village. I have a lot of people in my life that are helping me do what I do. I have a lot of people helping my clients do what they want to do. So there's a lot of talented people around. Now, let me give you one last tip about building the village. I have yet to see the village rally around kids that don't want it. Okay, nobody wants to invest their time, their energy, their money into a kid that doesn't appear to really want it. So we're all looking for kids with big desire. Okay, we're also looking for kids that are grateful. I haven't seen too many cocky, arrogant, entitled kids attract quality people into their life because I hate to say it, we don't really want to deal with that. We don't want to deal with attitudes. We don't want to deal with know-it-alls and uncoachable kids and arrogant parents. We'll shy away from that all the time. So those people, they're like islands. They have a hard time attracting people because nobody wants to be around it. I haven't seen too many people rally around kids that don't really believe in themselves. And this is a tough one because confidence is a big deal. So one of the things I'm doing with my young clients is I'm raising their confidence. I want them when they walk into a room to feel their confidence, to feel their presence. I want them to have that. So I'm doing things. That's not arrogance. That's not cocky. That's not entitled. That's just I'm doing all the right things. Therefore, I am confident in what I'm going to get from doing all the right things. That's a different mindset. So when you're confident, people are attracted to that confidence. They see a kid, that kid's going places in life. You've heard that kid's got a twinkle in his eye. That kid's got a skip in his step. You've heard all these sayings, right? If you're young, maybe you didn't. I'm old, so I know all these sayings. But that's how we look at these young kids. They're going places. I sent a video to my son the other day, and I said, what do you think of this kid? Kid was 12 years old. You know what my son's comment back was? He's got the it factor. The it factor. It's hard to put a finger on that, but some kids have that. So all I'm saying is, if you want a village around you, those are things that you need to be aware of. The confidence, the gratitude, the energy, the excitement, the love of the game. And when you have that, you're like a magnet for people like me. We're older people wanting to give back and invest in these young kids. That's fun. That's a win-win. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've covered a lot of ground. I've covered 3 things that you want to shy away from, and I've covered 3 things that you want to focus on. And it's given you a great glimpse into how I work with my clients. And we're having a lot of fun, and we're getting a lot of great results. So until the next video, God bless you. Well, I promised you that I had a free gift to offer you, and I do. It's something super near and dear to my heart. It is this daily devotional. It's called Jesus Calling. It was written by Sarah Young, and it was written in a way that when you read this each day, it's like having your own little personal meeting with Jesus himself. He's giving us in this devotional a daily strategy session. Basically, here's how you win the day. And it's really changed my life. I've been sharing it with a lot of people. It's changing their life. I started a little ministry. I did a GoFundMe for people to contribute to it. And that raised some money and some of my own money to get these books into the hands of people that want them. We really want to make a difference. So the offer is in the description below. There's a link. And if you would like a free copy signed by me, leatherback devotional. I want to send it to you. Just fill out the form and we'll get it in the mail to you. And eventually we're going to have our own little ministry where we're going to meet on Zooms with our players and our parents and our coaches. And we're going to talk about this book and what it's meaning in our lives. So if you want one, go to the description and request one today. God bless.